Hey everybody, Matthew here with the word of the day. And the word for today, as you might have guessed already, is corona. So we're going to look at how corona got to be a part of the English language and in usage as we have it now. So hang on for a ride. Corona goes back to a Proto-Indo-European root called sker. Proto-Indo-European is, of course, this language spoken by a group of people, some say 5, 6, 7,000 years ago, that then spread to the languages of India throughout Central Asia through Western Europe, and is spoke language families like Germanic, Greek, Indo-Iranian, Anatolian. Lots and lots and lots of languages that we know are Indo-European. So this root, the sker in Indo-European, split into two different meanings. The first one, sker one, means or meant to cut. So we have seen this into modern languages in a couple different ways. In Germanic, the sker root became the Old Norse skera, which became Norwegian skjære, or German skjæren, and modern English shear or share. Through Old English skeren. In the Romance languages, the S dropped out, and we ended up with carro, or the Latin carnis that we probably know a little bit better. So the Romance languages got carne, which is meat in a lot of Romance languages, and this is still alive in the French charcuterie. So we're talking about meat, and the etymology there is that we went from cut to cutting a piece of meat to a cut of meat, and then cut was what became just the word for meat. And we still use this in English. That a cut of meat is the terminology. In Germanic, the caro was loaned in to the Germanic languages as kurt or court, so something short or acting short, so being mean and short towards someone is being curt. And then in Old French, we got the word carnis, or the adjective carnal, that then became, flesh of the flesh, fleshy. So carnal and carnage and carnival are all basically related to this Proto-Indo-European sker, meaning to cut. But the second meaning of sker is what's more important for us here. It means to turn or to bend. Now, before we go into the meanings that get us to corona, I just want to kind of look at something I think is interesting. The Greek god Kronos, who was the god of the harvest, he was also the god who was the father of the Titans. So he was the father of Zeus and all this. And he cut open the heavens with his bent knife. He's often depicted in Greek mythology with his bent knife. So I wonder if he actually is the symbol of the unified meaning of these two roots, the cutting of the heavens and the bent knife, so the bending. So he might this might reflect some ancient understanding of the twofold meaning of this root. But into our modern languages, we have from sker 2, we have the Germanic root hring, or hringas, that was borrowed into Old Norwegian, or developed into Old Norse as hringer, and then the Norwegian ring. In German, we also have ring, and in Old English, ring became then the modern English ring. So ring, so bending something, and then a thing that was completely bent in a circle is then the ring. In certain languages, we had a development with a reduplicated stem, so where the first syllable was reduplicated, and that's the case in this Proto-Indo-European kikru, that has the first ki is repeated. And we get this into Greek, where it's krikos is the ring, and in Latin, circus, so circus is the word ring. And that's then borrowed later into English in the meaning of a circus, as in a place where you do lots of activities in a ring or in rings. And then the diminutive form of the Latin circus becomes circulus, and that's into Old French and cercle, and the English word circle then comes from that. So rings and circles get into our modern languages in slightly different ways. Now, the root we really want to look for here is this development with kurwo. So from the Indo-European sker, it becomes kur when the s falls out, and then we get this wo suffix, and that gives us the Latin curvus, which is the English word curved. From that, there's a development from wo and to korono, where we then are beginning to sense where we are. So the Greek korone is based on this root, and the Latin corona. The Middle Low German borrowed this as krona, and that became then Old Norse krona and the Norwegian krona. So both the meaning crown and the meaning monetary value is then related to this old corona word. This was borrowed into Old French as couronne, and that becomes the modern French couronne and English crown. So what does all this have to do with the coronavirus? Well, the coronavirus is named such because of the way that when it is cut in half, you can see that the spikes that stick up around the edges make a sort of a crown or a corona. So the corona is now more popular than ever, but it comes from an ancient root, Proto-Indo-European root, that's given us all kinds of great words in our modern language. So don't hate on the word, hate on the virus. Stay safe out there, everybody, and have a good week.